Hey, everybody, I'm John Granado, and that's Lance Zerline. You can hear us mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Hit subscribe so you get all of our content of Texans right here at SportsMap Texans. Lance, as we're taping this, the Texans are 5-4. One come from behind win and two last-second wins. And here they are in the playoffs as the 7th seed, the toast of the town, the team that everybody is talking about all over the country. Okay, here are some realistic things that they can achieve this season? Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Yes.
I mean, that's
a lot.
Unless something catastrophic happens, CJ is by far the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
If he stays healthy, he's Rookie of the Year.
Coach of the Year?
Very real chance. One of the top two, Dan Campbell and D'Amico Ryans right now.
I think it's Dan Campbell first, although this is an award about exceeding expectations. The Lions were thought to be good before the season started. They're 7-2 right now. The Texans are 5-4. They were thought to be the top pick in the draft. So D'Amico has far exceeded expectations. I would think as they go forward and if they continue to win, that D'Amico will take over as the top.
If the Texans get in the playoffs, it's going to be hard to keep D'Amico Ryans out of the Coach of the Year. Not just conversation, keep him from winning the award.
Playoffs?
Yeah.
Can they make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they can. If you look at the schedule, the schedule's favorable. They're still – the Browns are going to be a challenging game. You need to beat the Jaguars at home. You don't want to stumble against the Colts or the Titans. I think if you ask me, what history would tell you is that the Texans will end up 8-9 or 9-8. That some of the wins that they should get, they'll fall flat later on, and there will be an injury and things. But based on our era of good feelings right now, the recency bias of beating the Bengals there, and really, frankly, outplaying them for most of the game, it's hard not to be positive and not to be optimistic that the Texans over the next 8 games can't go 5-3. And if you go 5-3, that's a 10-win season. That's incredible.
Yeah. Win the division?
I think it's real. I think it's very, very possible. You're 6-3 for the Jaguars as we speak now. You're 5-4 as the Texans. If you beat the Jaguars at home, you got the head-to-head. You got a game lead on them.
Two wins against them this season. And so you definitely have the head-to-head in case of a tie. And your schedule is easier. The Jags are playing a first-place schedule. The Texans are not. They found out. They messed around, won the division last year, and found out by playing the 49ers last week. They found out what that the difference between the first-place schedule is. And going forward, they've got a much tougher road to hoe than the Texans do. And they have to come here, okay, in the house of pain.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Can they win a playoff game?
It'd be tough. I think it'd be tough. You'll be on the I assume you'll be on the road, which it hasn't bothered them so far.
No, if they win the division, they're going to be home.
I don't know how many guys' body clocks are used to playing football in January. That'll be weird for a lot of guys. Only C.J. Stroud. I played some January football before in my life, and why can't they? I guess why can't they win a playoff game right now?
They've got the best winning percentage against AFC of all the AFC teams.
Yeah,
they got the best winning percentage. So
and they beat teams.
They're beating, as opposed to the Dolphins, they're beating good teams.
They're beating teams that are currently in the playoffs. Yeah, Jacksonville. They beat Pittsburgh Steelers. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Those are 3 good wins, and honestly, you get sick about the games you lost, but as you and I talked about on the radio, Tyler Boyd catches that touchdown pass. We're probably having different conversations about, what could have been.
Yep.
And this whole, Texan sportsmap thing is a completely different situation, a different conversation. But you play the ball as it lies, and where the Texans are right now, they took advantage of a mistake, and they created a win.
Yep. And you go back to the Falcons game, you go back to the Carolina game, and you could say the opposite of it.
Right.
So they are what they are. They're 5-4, and they're right there in the hunt. Can CJ win the MVP?
I don't think that can happen. I think the Texans, you're up against guys like – forget the fact that Myles Garrett, there's a big charge for Myles Garrett, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown.
What about CeeDee Lamb?
Lamb.
We're forgetting CeeDee Lamb.
These guys should all be getting in the conversation because it's not a great quarterback year. Right now, the quarterback really is Jalen Hurts, and who's not having as good a year as last year, followed by Mahomes, who's not having as good a year. I mean, that's why CJ's even in the conversation. But if those wins continue to come, and let's say you get to 10 wins and CJ Stroud continues to lead the league in passing and gets to 30, finds a way, 30. He's not on pace for 30 touchdowns, but he's right there. If he gets to 30 touchdown mark with single-digit touchdowns, what other quarterback in the league would not be in the MVP consideration with 30 plus single digits and leading the league in passing for a team that wins 10 games, and I would assume wins a division at 10 games?
Well, yeah, and listen, if they win 10 games, this is not an award. This is an award about best guy on the best team usually. I think you would make an exception for this one, exceeding expectations, because he would win a division. He would be the reason why they won the division. It's not like you said, it's not a great year for the quarterbacks.
This is down from Mahomes, too. This is not one of Mahomes' better years.
No, so I think that he absolutely is in the hunt and should be in the hunt. Now, we got 8 games to go, so we got a long, long way to go. But if he continues to play like this, and especially win games late like he is, holy cow, and play the way he is in the fourth quarter, that's value. That's a valuable player. Can they be the best team in Texas?
I don't think so. The big difference for me is Micah Parsons. We don't have a Micah Parsons in Houston, an expert play wrecker. I don't think we have a CD Lamb, to be honest with you. I mean, for as the offensive, the wide receivers are better than expected, but I mean, they've got a better offensive line. They've got CD Lamb, and they've got Micah Parsons. I think that's the big difference, but the gap is closing. The gap is closing, and I'm not sure who the better quarterback is right now.
Yep, I agree. I think the Cowboys are better right now. We'll see by the end of the year. The Cowboys always make that fade. Always take that fade at the end of the year. So hopefully that will happen again, and we can win the Texas Bowl. There's a Governor's Cup. There's a Governor's Cup.
There's a silver. Is it Governor's Cup?
It's the Governor's Cup.
Do we have a silver thing?
We'll take the Governor's Cup this year.
Okay, that's fine. We'll take the Governor's Cup.
Yeah, no.